Morning, Rob.
Hello. Good. Let's see. Good. You
There we
okay?
go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah. Good. 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 Thank you for all the work. Been
Oh, it's
very
it's
active.
it's I don't know. I like the challenge.
Yes, I
The
noticed it.
the way the way I've got it right now. The if you remember when we were looking at it before, it was like 60% of CPU, and it was just
Mhm.
going crazy. Now it's like 0.3%
Okay, that's
normally,
good.
and then when I hit it, like I'll do a few hits. It goes up to 3%, and that's it. So
Okay, that's fine. That's great. That's
yeah,
what it should be. I
yeah,
mean, that's what I normally run like that. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, good to hear
Anyway,
it.
yeah. The,
Hi,
the the
Ella.
code the code's a mess, but that's once it's working, then we can tweak it. So,
Mhm. Uh,
hey, Yella, how's it going?
I'm good. Thanks. How's going with you guys?
yeah, I'm good to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi, Michael.
Morning.
Michael, good
Morning.
morning.
I got those.
Oh yeah.
Those, those are amazing. No, thanks to the Vibe people, the vaping people.
Yes.
They pushed the limit, it seems. But they're really 4,000. I mean, I was impressed by them. They're good. They're not so cheap, but they are about I think about $9 each. But they last a long time, so that's good. And by reducing the software, that nearly two-thirds of the one-third down of the power. Right,
Okay,
it's
good.
some tweaks, and I was surprised the CPU running at 80 hertz megahertz. That was still snappy, so that was also a good change. I don't know, Diallo, did you have a look at the code I made for it, or
I did. I did. Yes. I did see the change in the CPU as well. So,
okay?
I haven't run it yet because it doesn't compile yet. I'm working on some changes, also in the settings, to add to more easily add settings because now it's always messy to add something. But,
True.
I also have some. I think I messed up some merge conflicts, so. I don't know. I have to look back. I haven't had much time yet, so
Okay,
it's
but the
okay.
the merge conflicts are because the code you put in or the code I put in.
Uh, the code that I had, I merged with development and then with your branch, so that there were some conflicts. I resolved all of them, but it still doesn't work, so I have to go through the code to put everything together.
Okay, then, good. And another thing I had from Peter. Peter was requesting a kind of app where we can directly flash, not M5 burner. So we can from a browser or from a phone you can flash it. But I'm not sure if we can do that. I'm trying to find out if that's possible. I think there are new tools around like ESP web tools, and they're supposed to be able to do it in the browser, but I haven't get it to work yet. That will be
Hmm.
interesting, because they will completely bypass it. You can just directly pick up from GitHub a binary file, then flash it directly to your M5 stack.
Yeah, I don't know if it can through phone, but you can just use ESP tools to upload or Platform IO in the same
No, no, no,
way.
no,
You can
no.
just
But it's more for the simple users. For us, it's
put it.
fine. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I
if
know, I understand.
but it's
I'm
super
not sure if
simple.
there's an
So
app on
Punk.
phone, but there should be super simple apps
No, no, no.
for
It runs
programs.
in the browser.
It does.
It
Oh,
does with a JavaScript. That's what was very interesting about it. There are a few tools around. I
okay.
think I made a brand and repo on the Safecast GitHub. You can see a sample I was working on.
ESP Web Tools. Interesting, yes.
I don't hear you, Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just looking at something.
Oh, I thought you said something. I saw your mouth moving. Didn't say
Yeah,
anything. Like, oh,
sorry.
no, that's good. But yeah, is that interesting to do it like that, or you have other ideas?
I'm just looking at how this works. It could be that it uses the over-the-air updating.
Mm, no, it goes directly to USB. I can connect to a USB, but it doesn't flash yet. Hold on a
Okay,
second.
well,
See that? Mm,
well, I guess we can take a look at it. If it's possible, then it's possible.
Yeah,
I've
that's
I've,
true.
ne I've never used it, so it's
No,
also new
for
to
me
me.
too. I know that Blues had something like that from a browser directly to a note card. You could hook up a
Hmm.
note card directly to a browser, and then it was directly downloading it.
All right.
So I thought that should be possible. So I Googled a little bit and asked around, and then I get something up. It connects correctly, but it doesn't flash yet.
Hmm. Okay. No, if that works, then we can make a page on the bGeigieZen website
Yeah,
to connect your Zen and upload. Maybe it
yeah,
even works on phone then.
yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, we
Here
should
is the.
test it.
It's more simple than getting the M5 burner to run. Hold on
Yeah.
a second.
Also, if you use the burner, you also override your current settings from your preferences, or the what's it called? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called
something like that.
preferences, I think. So if you make a M5 burner uh, firmware update in the burner software, it also takes your settings. So also
Yes.
with that's
Yeah,
why we
with
have
all
the
the trouble.
reset button.
Yes.
But and then if you update it, you also lose your own settings. So
True.
that's also not really what we want.
But then again,
Uh,
if the SD card is in there, then your settings get picked up again.
yes, if you have indeed reset your device first, so it starts as a first time startup again, and then it loads
Yeah.
from the SD card. But if you have in your settings on the device a device ID or some other settings, just the device ID actually, then it won't work. Or
Hmm.
actually, I think you get the pop-up like
Yeah.
there's a
Cannot
different
read.
ID on the settings. Do you want to
Yeah.
apply or something? It's something we
So
made.
I think it will work. That's my gut feeling.
I guess, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we
Okay.
can try it.
So let's
I
see.
think it's better to.
Yeah. But then again, we have to think about you need to install the driver for the USB too. So we have to make a link to that. Well, let's think. At least as an idea.
I think it's easier to install a driver than to install a
Yeah,
whole
that's
software
true.
package
Yeah,
of
I
M5.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So that's the things I have so far. And I don't know if you've seen the progress from Louis. He did a lot of progress. He made. So that's nicely working now.
Hmm.
Yeah, just to bring you up to speed, I've got a project on the go. This is kind of this branching off in quite a different direction. Excuse me. Um, basically setting up a network of fixed sensors around the region. There's was it 10 active um, nuclear reactors. They're building. They're just starting building a new one. So. And the idea is the same idea as what's around Fukushima, what's around the Dnipro in
Mhm.
Ukraine. Obviously, the situation around here is not nearly as dire. And there's no flying bombs going around uh, or meltdowns. But the idea is that the operator, Ontario Power Generation, wants a 30-year license, which apparently is not unusual, like these long licenses. Around the world. But what makes it different is that the intermediate, checkups or reviews really exclude the public. So it's basically industry insiders, uh, checking other industry insiders, and so there's a hearing on relicensing this plant, Darlington, that's about 30 kilometers from here, and so we're just basically challenging them to be more open. So if you're curious about that, just go have a look at the Safecast blog. Mark Prosser took my notes and wrote up a really nice little write-up. So if you look on Safecast blog, and there you can actually click on and you'll see the live map. And so the plan right now is to basically embarrass the Ontario Power Generation and say, look, if a bunch of
Exactly.
volunteers, I'm not going to say amateurs because there's some really talented people in this organization, volunteers can put together something like this. What's the matter with you guys, where you have millions and millions of dollars of ratepayer money, and take it from there.
Mhm.
So I spent so Rob gave me a good kickstart with some Python backend and some JavaScript and HTML templates, and it was running really slow. It was, chewing up 60% of a CPU, which is kind of bad for a web application that's just just sitting there waiting for things. So over the course of the last week and a half, I basically taught myself how to build web apps in Python and rewrote it to be a lot more economical of CPU resources. The only problem is that the code's really ugly because there's a lot of, well, I don't know how to do that, I don't know how to merge it into a nice class or something, something
Yeah.
really, really elegant. It's just like, SQL, 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 and
Mhm.
basically leaning a lot on the SQL engine to do a lot of the pre-format, the formatting, so I don't have to play around with Python, strings and string replacements and whatever.
Yep.
So that's where I've been doing. So and there's GitHub Safecast RT-CA, so real time -CA for Canada dash map. So if you have a look at that, I just pushed the latest, and not so greatest, but it works. The admin pages are still a work in progress, but the basics are there. And there's only 3 sensors, so that's the next phase is to start looking for sponsors and hosts, people who want to buy a Zen and stick it in their window, and really not do anything else with it. It's kind of boring. So that's going to be a little bit of a hard sell. It's not like walking
Sure.
around, hey, I'm a citizen scientist and I'm walking around taking readings. No, it's just sitting there in the window with a little screensaver going back and forth. So it's not all that
Mhm.
exciting. So a little bit of a sales job there. That's me.
Okay. You can disable the screensaver. With the newest code, the how to say, it goes dim. It dims and doesn't do a screensaver. It dims quite a lot.
Yeah, well,
So
that
Mm.
that's even more boring.
you can see the data.
Yes,
No, no,
they
no.
can
Yeah,
see the
it's
data.
not, you can,
They can go to the
but
map and see that their
no, no,
device.
no. On the device, it's
Yeah.
not completely dimmed. It's
Okay.
it's still readable, but not
Yeah.
as bright, so it doesn't burn in.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's even 20% down, and it can still read quite clearly while it's
Okay.
using a lot less power.
Okay.
So,
I'll set mine up and have a look.
mhm. And Michael had some progress or some other things you want to
No,
talk
I'm
about?
sorry. I've been
No, no,
very
no.
busy. We're getting ready to redo part of the house, the last room in the house, and all the stuff that was stored in it. We're recycling, selling, mostly giving away um, things and going through old electronics. And yeah, it's really been time consuming. Right?
Okay, yeah. I noticed last week you were not there, so I assume you were busy with other things. So,
Yeah. Oh, that was my birthday.
oh, your
And I
birthday!
forgot and I had forgot to set the
Congratulations.
alarm. Yeah, birthdays are good because they happen. Yeah. Uh, so anyway, that's
But
my
but you had a good birthday. A
yes, we
nice
did.
birthday.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, good. That's good.
yeah,
That's important.
yeah. So unfortunately, no, I really want to get back to filtering
Hmm.
GPS data. And I put a brief outline of where I was heading, trying to use the raw data coming out of the GPS module rather than derived data, because I think that might be not be consistent from module type to module type.
You
So,
mean by different maker or the model itself? So by individual modules or by
oh no,
a
like
different maker?
M10, M9, M8.
Oh, okay.
That yeah, I
That
don't
group.
I well actually we know that they use completely different chips and
True.
some have certain constellations and not others. But I think, I was looking at issues like, for reflection, watching a drop in the signal to noise ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Besides looking at second to second, um, differences in acceleration and velocity. Um, but as with any filter, there's going to be a lag. Um,
True.
and I don't know how you reflect that back in the log. So that, just trying to think of the logistics of how you would do that. So, would you have a pointer in the log that would say, oh, by the way, 2 seconds back, that's when we finally we're back to a stable location or something like that. So I don't know what the lag of the filter is going to be. I'm going to use the test cases that Louis gave me, the test cases I have, the test cases that were generated in Ukraine, and see what and run them through the filter and see if they accurately identify. So then I can replay them, take the KML file, throw it into Google Earth, and see if all those little blips just disappear. And I think the right approach is to just hold the location when we know that we've gone invalid and then restart at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the log will reflect that we don't have valid location, just like when we currently have a flag for that. So that's the idea.
Okay. So let's hope you can get some time
Yeah.
to work on that.
Yeah, I'll try to get sometime soon.
Okay, good. I found a quite nice app for the GNS. I think I showed to Jelle last time. It's called GNS Test. It it has a lot of stuff on it. Hold on a second. I cannot share that, I think. I will send a screenshot later. They have a lot of information about the GPSs on it. It's for Android. I
Right.
will send that later. I mean, that's easy because I cannot show the thing.
Yeah, I mean I mean the amount of complexity that's in a cell phone GPS system that you could see if you start getting a weak satellite, you see it will snap to the nearest road.
Mhm.
So it's using a whole bunch of information. more information than we have with just a single GPS module. It's got, maps and a correlation algorithm to try to keep it on the road. I've had, multiple times where I have bad reception and it goes from one, all of a sudden it says I'm driving on a different road and then
That's
figures
true.
its way back.
Yes. Yeah, I had it a few times too. Which
Yeah,
road to take, it goes another direction completely. It
right.
snaps on.
And then eventually it snaps back. Um,
Yeah, but that's quite quick in a few seconds normally.
mhm. Yeah,
Mm, Okay. And Jelle and me, we talked last time about the if you have a GPS extender and you
right.
have GPS signals coming in, is that not confusing? What can be is the reflection from one or the other, or they cancel each other out? How does that work? I have no idea. We were both wondering what's happening.
So the GPS extender, it doesn't it actually creates a transmitter, a
Yeah,
local transmitter, and it's giving you signals. I don't know
I don't know
what
too.
what effect that has on things.
I would
No,
think
we
it. Yeah, go
Because
ahead.
you're probably getting the same, in some cases, depending upon where the GPS unit is located, you're getting the same signal twice,
Yeah.
but not at the same time.
So there's a time difference in the receiving from the extender and delay in the cable, and then to the GPS signal to the unit, but also directly. So you have a delay also in there for the
Yeah,
cable and the electronics.
My
I don't
my
know.
guess is that it's just basically just an amplifier going back, so it's just I wouldn't expect it to be a repeater that decodes the bit
No,
stream and then
it
refires it.
doesn't.
It's
No.
probably just a repeater. So um, I'm looking at mine, which I took down just because it's easier to do the testing upstairs. Um, but I think what the trick would be to it comes with a long cable.
Mm,
Go to the maximum length of the cable and put the retransmitter really close to the Zen. And that way
yes.
the retransmitter will overwhelm the the original signal. These things because these things always have a automatic gain control on the front end.
Mm,
And if you have a strong source nearby, the automatic gain control dials down the amplification at the front end, and then the original signal, which was weak in the first place, should disappear. So the idea is, long cable.
long
That's
cable.
my
right.
guess.
It makes
And
sense.
and how long? Because I have 20 meters cable I picked up from Amazon. How I've read somewhere you can go to 40 meters or something.
Huh.
Mhm.
then Lewis went away.
No,
Right.
Louis is going to
Yeah.
measure it. He's going to make
Here I
me go.
am,
Oh,
I'm
there you
measuring.
go.
It's I mean it's still coiled up
That's
and everything.
it's a
Wait a
five
second,
meter,
that's
I
the power
think.
Mm.
blob.
Five,
So
five or 3 meter.
oh yeah, that's I mean uh meters. Sorry.
About.
1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 or 6 meters,
Mm,
I think. So the
yes.
idea is to place this little the little
Yeah, close
retransmitter
by.
close to your Zen. I don't know, try that. It's if it doesn't work, well, nothing lost.
That's true. But the thing is that the delay in the cable, it's a coax cable and it always gives a delay.
Yeah.
So and then at that
Yes, but the delay
frequencies,
is going to be consistent.
that's true.
It's going to be the same. It's going to affect all the signals the same way.
Mm.
I
And
think
then
the scenario we discussed last week is that if you have a repeater which the receiver is outside and the transmitter is inside or closer to the home, and you are not really near the transmitter, but still close enough to a window that you can also receive the GPS
mm,
signals
yes.
directly. If they would like conflict with each other because maybe the transmitter sends from some satellites, and then you receive from other satellites from the actual location that you're at.
Mhm.
And because of that, maybe the triangulation or the calculations that are done to calculate the positioning would be a bit off
So
because of the repeater.
what in effect we're doing is we're adding a fixed delay, a constant delay to all the satellite signals.
But also a constant position, basically.
Well, it
Yes.
all works on time delay. Basically, it's the satellite broadcasts what time it is for the satellite, and then the receiver figures out what time it is for the receiver, and by
Right.
that, it's basically time of flight.
Yeah.
There's no geometry involved in the actual
Yeah, the
signals.
satellite tells you where it is and when it is.
Yes.
And then the triangulation is done based upon your um, yeah, then it does the triangulation after that.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
right.
actual
Okay.
time of
Yes.
flight.
I've seen
So
that.
the small distance wouldn't make a difference then.
No.
Doesn't make a difference, no.
Okay.
Because it's the signal itself is binary. So the code is binary, so it knows the numbering. So it's not an analog signal anymore.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
a different thinking. I was thinking analog. Because if it's an
Yeah, it's
analog
all
signal,
analog.
time delay. No, but the data itself is digital. So it
That
knows the
doesn't matter in
time.
this case because all it is, it's looking at for the actual carrier itself.
Hmm.
The and it's strictly when that particular packet arrives, but it's strictly on the but the repeater, as far as I can tell, I mean, these things are super cheap, so I don't expect that there's a lot of electronics in there.
No.
It's probably just an
Fuse
amplifier.
resistors, yeah.
It's with a certain bandwidth, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not even sure what bands it takes, or if it's super broadband and just basically amplifies any
Everything.
crap coming
Mm.
in, including
Maybe even
Microwaves.
Wi-Fi.
whatever, aircraft radar. I don't know.
Wi-Fi.
Right.
Wi-Fi, yeah, 2.5 gigahertz. Okay,
Yeah.
5 gigahertz.
Mm-mm.
Could be. Although that would overwhelm it. So
Yeah, that's true. That's a little bit too powerful.
anyway, have fun with that. Just walk around.
Yes, I will. I have my apps too, so I can compare to see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I've had my
on
repeater for a while now, and it works. No issues here. So
That's good.
I just searching around, came across a page on the developer.android.com. I'll post it in the Slack. But it talks about getting raw GNSS measurements through the Android framework, if anybody's interested in that. There's also Google has a GNSS logger in the Play Store. So, and a GNSS analysis app. Anyway, just have a look at that page. I'm just noticing it now, so I haven't looked at it, but it sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, just threw that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could think of one of the solutions is you just have an old Android phone and somehow interface that to a Zen unit instead of a GPS module. But that's basically a bigger black box
I think so.
that you can't get inside. So I I kind of mulled that over and I go, no, that's first of all, the interface to get that information out. I guess you would go Bluetooth. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Bluetooth it's also a big mysterious blue box.
right,
The
right.
blue box, there's not a black box.
Yeah, no, I mean, it never works.
Yeah.
That's not true. It often worked for me. Let's say. And the
So
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, so I think the right thing to do is to stick with this, fundamental GPS data that's coming out of the module
Mhm.
and see what I can identify by looking at, positional changes, positional and bearing changes on a second by second basis, computing velocity, acceleration, um, and and I think the parameters would probably be very similar for, at least for the data that I've seen for stationary devices, that they would work in any situation, such as, an airplane or a station, between an airplane and a station. That's another open area that, you might have to consider that, but I don't think so because these jumps are so severe when the GPS module jumps. It uh, it jumps an impossible amount, whether you're stationary or whether you're flying in an airplane.
That's true.
We'll see.
True. We have other things to discuss, or we say bye-bye, or
Nope, nothing for me.
no?
I have nothing else
I'm,
to add.
yeah,
No,
for the
for
next
good.
for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be totally focused on that the map and the Darlington license hearings. That's going to be a little bit of a circus, but anyway.
If you need help, let me know,
Um,
huh? Ping me.
Yeah, good luck with that.
yeah, thanks. I mean, it's going to go through. It's one of those things that the regulator is. Yeah, the word regulator capture comes up very often in discussions, but
Mhm.
if we can get them to release reports faster than and then after 5 months, oh yeah, we had a spill 5 months ago. Here's a report. Good luck
That's true.
finding
That
it
will
on our
help.
website.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And
um,
and in Japan, they I think I read an article. They are extending the 30-year licenses to I think
yeah,
60 even. So
yeah,
you better get ready.
yeah, yeah. I have no illusions,
Okay.
but I just hope to basically tweak the nose a bit.
Mm. Okay.
All right,
So
take care,
we
folks.
said bye-bye. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right.
Thanks for
Bye
joining.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week.
Yeah, you
You
too.
too.